I feel like I'm the news anchor with scissors. And the dog. Hello my hiking friends, it is nice to see you here, and today I have a treat for you. If you like DIYs, then I have a treat for you. If you don't like them, just click away and we will see you next week. Today I am going to attempt to make my own mosquito net under my tarp. For this project you are going to need a mosquito net fabric that I got from a really simple household goods store. This mesh doesn't have the smallest holes, so if you can find a denser mesh that would be nice. You are going to need enough of mesh to cut out these pieces, rectangular one with these measurements that you can see on the paper, and 2 triangles with measurements on the paper as well. Then you are going to need 30 centimeters of stronger ribbon, 4 meters of thinner rubber string and 1 meter of thicker rubber string. If you wish, you can use 5 meters of thicker rubber string. 2 pieces of eraser or pebbles or whatever you can find from the house, and of course thread for sewing. And of course you are going to need a sewing machine. Here is the layout I'm going for. The first step is to sew together these mesh pieces so you can have this bigger rectangular piece. And I have a tip for you: if you're using a usual sewing machine, stretch the fabric while you are sewing it, and if you stretch the fabric, the seam will not break. So here is the big piece I sewed together, and now I am going to cut off 1 meter of excess material. With this excess material I measured out my triangles and cutting them out. As you can see, I messed up a little bit with this one triangle and I had to fix it by sewing an extra piece of fabric onto it. The next step will be sewing these 2 triangles onto your rectangular piece. Remember, stretch your fabric a little bit so the seam will not break. Now I'm taking the mesh that is almost looking like a finished product. I'm taking the bottom part of it, folding it double and sewing it together so it will form like a tunnel for our rubber string. I cut 4 pieces about 10 centimeters long, burning the edges because then it will not unravel, and I will attach these strings to the corners of the mesh about 10 centimeters away from the edge. At first I will use a pin to hold it tight, and then I will just zigzag it with my sewing machine. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to stay put. This is how it looks like from the outside and from the inside. Now do this all with 4 corners of your mesh. Using a bobby pin attached to my rubber string, I am getting this rubber string into the tunnel we made. It will take a little bit time, but it's really easy with a bobby pin. Now I am taking a small piece of the eraser, putting it inside of the mesh and tying it together from the outside with my rubber band. At the other end of the rubber band I am making a loop so I can attach it to wherever I want to, and as always cutting away the excess material and melting it with my lighter so the ends will not unravel. And here you are! This is the finished product under my tarp. The top corners are attached to the trekking poles with this rubber string. You can make it tighter or looser as you wish. The corners are attached to the ground with 4 pegs, and the bottom rubber string is tucking itself in really nicely. You can crawl inside by just lifting up the one side, and as the mesh is quite flexible you will have no problem using this kind of entrance. So I weighed this mosquito mesh and it weighs 159 grams, so it's really light for its size. You can fit a full-sized sleeping mat in here, and you can sleep here with 2 people, so I think it's a really big success. I will put all of the things that I used in a description box below, so if you want to make this, you can. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so I know you did. And I really enjoyed this DIY stuff. Maybe I will start doing more of my gear. It would be fun to try. Anyway, thank you for watching. Go for a hike, and I will see you next week. Bye! Okay, let's try this. Let's try this out, how it works. I think I made something wrong because... Yes, I made it wrong! That's what I need this mosquito net for.